What is up, backyard bass fans? All right, tonight this is more towards the pond fishing guys, the bank fishing guys. Kind of give you a little bit of tip going into fall. I know there's a ton of baits out there everybody wants to throw. They want to throw their top waters, their spinner baits, and everything else they got in there. But this bait here, this is probably one of my favorite baits to throw in the fall around ponds. I mean, it is just an all-around good bait. Constantly gets bit. It's easy to work. Anybody can throw it. I don't care if you got a light spinning setup on or if you have a bait casting on. You can throw this bait. It's very, very simple. And what it's going to be is a little swim bait. Usually in the 3.5 inch range, 4 inch range, somewhere around there. That little bit smaller size, just a regular paddle tail. This one here is actually the Rage Swimmer. I use the Kitex 2. The other one is the Exo Swims, stuff like that. They work very, very well for this. As far as color goes on these, guys, don't get too picky with it. Keep it to your natural colors. I'm sure if you fish in ponds, you probably don't have a whole lot of small bait fish like shad and stuff like that. You know, the green pumpkin is always a real good color if you got a little bit of clarity to your water, I should say. If you're a little bit muddier water, you know, go with a little bit darker color or go with your whites. The clearer you get, the more of a more natural color you want. Another good color that I use is actually like a transparent, it's a transparent color that you can almost see through. It's not white, or it's almost like a silver see-through. It works very well too. So, like I said, just depending on what your water clarity is going to depend on what color you want. You don't know, just try something. I mean, it's not a real difficult thing to do, and you'd probably be surprised at what you'll get bit on. You know, even if you haven't fished that color in your pond ever before, you know, just give it a shot, see what happens. One thing I do on these, I do a lot of times is I dip the tails in Chartreuse dye, or if I have a spike it pin, sometimes what I'll do is I'll put a stripe down the side right here, just right down that side of the belly on it. Whether or not it actually gets me more bites, I don't know. I just started doing that a couple years ago. It seemed to work out pretty good. I think they can pick that chartreuse stripe up a little bit better than they can the rest of it, and that's kind of what they target in on. So, like I said, I don't know if that actually works for a fact or not, but it just seems like it does to me. Just set it up on a real light setup hook, guys. Go with like a 1/4 ounce, 1/8 ounce, you know, weighted hook. This one here is actually just a 4/0 hook. Fits them really well. I have no problems with that. That is the one thing I will tell you guys, and I've heard from several different people, but, you know, I use the screw locks. The reason I like the screw locks is that they seem to hold the bait a lot longer, a lot better. They don't get ripped off nearly as easy or slid down your hooks either. So that's another reason I really like those. I know there's a lot of guys out there that say, oh, I can't use the screw lock because it never swims straight or whatever. I very rarely ever have that problem. I don't know if they're just not putting them on right or if they're bending something. I don't know what they're doing, but I mean, I've never had any issues with that. So, as far as a rod setup and reel setup, like I told you guys before, you can throw this on a spinning setup. You can throw it on a bait casting setup. It doesn't really matter. My preferred use is actually just a medium heavy. The Shimano SLX rod that I did the review on here a couple videos ago. If you haven't seen that one, make sure you go check that out. It's the Chrono DC reel that I'm throwing it on. And the only reason I'm throwing it on the Chrono DC is because I was still kind of just testing the waters with this thing and just making sure I really liked it before I ever went out and spent the money for them. Like I said, they're pretty expensive, but I really, really do like it. And as far as throwing lighter baits, this thing works phenomenal. But other than that, I usually typically throw it. It's just on my loose speed spool, which works really well too. So gear ratio is not a big issue. You can throw it on a 5-to-1. You can throw it on an 8-to-1. It just depends on how quick you're wanting to reel it. So as far as retrieves go, you know, just kind of keep it simple. You know, keep it a steady retrieve. If that's not working, maybe try a stop and go retrieve. One thing that I can do a lot that kind of, I think, triggers bites a little bit better sometimes is if I'm fishing around cover, I'll actually go through and I'll burn it real quick to the cover and then just let it die. That sometimes actually triggers bites too. So, you know, just something else to try there. You know, if you guys like these actual pond tips and stuff like that, you know, I can do a few more of them. Just kind of let me know down in the comments. You know, I'd be more than happy to do a couple more. I know we're getting into the, you know, deep into the fall here. Like You can see I got my hoodie on today. It's the first time I wore a hoodie all year, so it's definitely here. So fishing's going to be very limited on how far we can go into the season here, but like I said, you guys want to see something else in the pond or bank fishing, stuff like that, you know, leave a comment down below and I'll see what I can do for you. But until next time, guys, thanks for watching.